before I do this, I'm going to preface this by saying I've never done this before. I've looked into it a little bit, watched some videos, learned a little bit about it, and I'm going to try it. We're going to try doing a technique called air layering, where we're going to try to force a root growth on a branch and get a root ball going here on the branch while it's on the tree. And then we'll cut the branch right below that root ball and transfer it. The family and I all came down and we picked off of this tree last year and got these really beautiful bright red plums, and we made a bunch of plum soft set jam or syrup kind of stuff out of it. It's just phenomenal. This is our neighbor's place, and he's given us permission to do some experimenting with some of the fruit trees he has on his place. Like I said, I've never done it before. I don't know anything about it other than what I've learned and researched and looked up. So we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna try it on several trees, several different sizes with different types of application, and see just what takes, what works. Right now we're gonna work on plums. I've got this plum tree. There's another plum tree over here that has a different style plum. And then there's one more variety down just over here that we're going to try as well. All three are varieties that we harvested last year and had some really, really amazing fruit out of. And the purpose here is the trees that I'm taking from are really high production, really good quality fruit trees that put on a lot of fruit and did really well. So I'm trying to clone that genetics rather than just having another tree of that same variety that may or may not be a good fruit producer. And then we have an apple tree around the way that we harvested some amazing, beautiful big apples out of. That one's a good producer as well. So we're gonna try to do this process on a few of these and see if we can get some starts. Now the other benefit is that some of these trees he wants cleaned up, and he wants to do some of that stuff he's planning on removing. So some of the smaller shoots that are nearby that are definitely from that tree but are a new genetic tree, we may pull some of those starts, so it has similar genetics but it's not a clone, which this is technically considered a cloning a tree. It's going to be an interesting take, and I'm really curious to try it. Let's see what we end up with. Okay, and root hormone. Probably should have put that on the wrap. Basically the technique that I saw. Probably with practice you get better at all those things, but let's see if we can do this a little better this time. There, essentially. For reference, this first one is about a 1-inch diameter. And the second one is about 5/8 of an inch or so. I saw a guy do it without the rooting hormone, and he did a 2-inch tree branch. Maybe that was a different variety of tree. That's why I said we're going to play with it a few different ways. I'm going to try a few different sizes. Probably do 2 more on this tree, and then go hit the other tree and see what we can find. I'm trying to pick branches that have a decent fork afterwards, just so they'll have a decent shape when they're pruned out. Let's see what we get. Might even try a big one. That was a lot harder being more vertical. I think we'll go try the other tree now. I ended up doing 2 to 3 starts per tree on this one and every one after. All total, I had 2 varieties of plums, 3 apple, and 1 pear that I did these starts with. Now I need to give it 4 to 6 weeks to see if the roots form and come back and check on it then. If everything's successful, we have anywhere between 15 to 18 starts, and we'll see if those make trees.